Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to teach you the first book's poem. The poem name is A Tiger in the Zoo. This is the poem. Here, the poet Leslie Norris has compared the tiger's life, a tiger in the zoo, and a tiger in the natural habitat. Students, there is a great difference between the tiger's life. The tiger who lives in the zoo, his life is captured in limitation. But a tiger who lives in its natural habitat, there is no limitation for him. A tiger can wander here and there without any limitation. It can do everything. This poem moves from the zoo to the jungle, and once again this poem back again to the zoo. Means poem starts with the poem's stanzas starts from the zoo to jungle to the forest, but once again it come back to the zoo. Now in this poem each stanza has refers to a tiger's life. Now I'm going to explain the first stanza of this poem. Listen. He stalks in his vivid strips the few steps of his cage. The few steps of his cage. Students, the few steps of his cage. On pads of velvet quilt in his quiet rage. He refers to a tiger. Stalks means walks in his vivid strips means strange black lining that is on the back of a tiger. The few steps of his cage means the tiger walks in strange mood with its black strips on its back, and the tiger's few steps that was taken by him in the cage in that particular place, he cannot move, he can't come out from that cage. He knows that this is the place wherever I have to always live, and my limitation ends where cage the cage boundaries, the cage rods starts. On pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. Here the velvet pads of velvet quiets, these words refers to the feet of lion that is like foam. The tiger's feet are like cushions, like foam. So the poet has used these words that the tiger is walking with its velvet feet. He is very silent. There is no anger, and in the cage, he is walking very silently like a very silent creature. This stanza refers to the tiger's activity when he is surrounded in the cage, in the zoo. In the second, stanza, the poet says, he should be lurking in shadow. The poet assumes that this is not the proper place for a tiger, that he has to move only 4 to 10 steps in the cage of a zoo. This is not good for the life of tiger. So he says in the second stanza that I think a tiger must be hide in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plump deer pass. So in the second stanza, the poet refers to the quality of the tiger, that the tiger must be live near the water hole where the plumps, the fleshy deer pass to drink water, and he must be hide himself in those long grasses so that very easily the tiger can hunt up those deers. So these are the natural quality of tigers. So the tigers must be live in that particular places near the water hole. But here in the first stanza, he says that the condition of tiger is very pitiable here because he can't move, he can take only countable step there. So the poet favors the tiger's life in the second stanza, that he must be seen at the place at the natural places. Now in the third stanza, the poet says he should be he should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws terrorizing the village.